Hello and welcome to another edition of Son of Kaiju Review. I'm Protomet.
I'm Tank.
And today we will be talking about Gamera vs. Jiger.
Why, we don't know. Oh yeah, we selected it.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
So yeah, this is in the on the back half of the original Gamera series, and it shows.
Oh yeah.
They
really don't care.
So the premise of this is that it surrounds an upcoming World Expo, and as a centerpiece for it, some guys decide to go to some island and take a big statue that they found and bring it to Japan. It goes over incredibly well. Spoilers, no it doesn't.
Little shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
So they go to this island.
Also, we're first introduced to like some of the major characters. We got this one kid, his dad, who's working on a mini sub. His sister, who is really kind of ineffectual for the bulk of this movie, and some guy who's played by the actor who played Kamen Rider X.
Yes.
And that's really the only thing I could think about when seeing him on screen throughout the entire movie. It's like, this guy's from Kamen Rider X.
It's just X. Well, the kid is like wants to go to the expo, and I believe that's his sister's, the actor who plays X, his sister's boyfriend or something.
That's certainly what it seems like.
Yeah.
We're just gonna assume that he's the boyfriend character. I can't be bothered to remember anybody's names, to be honest.
Yeah, this is how much we really care about this movie.
I'm not even looking at a wiki to confirm any names, because we got Japanese kid.
Yeah, Japanese.
We later get introduced to, like, I want to say British boy.
Yeah.
And his British sister.
Very British sister.
She has a very thick accent in the English dub. It's like, ooh.
It's like, oi.
Like, I don't think any of the members of her family have nearly as thick of an accent as her, and it shows.
Yeah.
But basically, their dad is the guy in charge of leading the expedition to bring the big statue to Japan.
I believe before they even start to bring it, like, some people, natives of the one native of the island, like, sees,
or at least a representative of it. The guy who plays X shows off like a slideshow of stuff and shows off the statue, and that really triggers this one representative who,
and he gets pissed and just like
he rambles off in his native language and then storms off and doesn't actually explain anything to anybody about why he's upset.
And
other than
he says Jiger. That's about it.
Yeah, thanks, guy. You could have warned everybody about the danger that's going to be coming, because of course a danger comes.
Yes.
But no, you're just gonna storm off in a huff, and not to be any part of the rest of this movie. Like, way to go.
Yeah. There was really no need for him to be there,
other than to just present the mystery of Jiger.
Yeah.
Which then gets resolved soon after, or if you looked at the poster for this movie.
Mm-hmm. There was a poster for this movie?
Yes, it had Gamera fighting a monster called Jiger. But anyway, they use helicopters to lift the statue up out of the ground because it's like a big dagger.
Yeah. Then Gamera starts flying around them,
trying to stop them.
Yep.
Because Gamera knows.
Yes.
But Gamera doesn't speak English.
He doesn't really speak even Japanese.
That's even worse.
He speaks rawr.
He speaks Kaiju, so...
Yeah.
So the humans don't really know what he's saying. The Japanese boy is like, oh, but it's Gamera, he's fine. But, like, the British kids are like, no, he's evil. He tried to
kill us.
Or something.
Yeah, we hate Gamera now.
They really kind of flip-flop.
Oh, yeah, they changed their mind pretty damn quick.
But anyway, Gamera gets distracted by a volcano and goes to have a buffet while the humans just kind of leave with the big statue.
He's like, oh, he seems kind of more
and then like
startled off. I'm like, okay.
And then like the British dad or whatever,
Yeah.
he kind of has this look that makes him kind of look a bit suspicious, like maybe he knows something or maybe he suspects something and doesn't really go anywhere.
No, doesn't go anywhere at all.
Like, it seems like he's like, oh, what have we done? Are we doing the right thing? And just doesn't say anything to anybody about it.
They actually shoot at Gamera in this scene, and it's just like the kids are like, Gamera's like, you know, nice. He's like, friend of all children.
I hate Gamera.
Yeah.
So,
I hate Gamera now.
some bull crap.
Yeah, just,
But anyway, they managed to transport it to the statue to a ship, and by the time it actually reaches port in Japan, like the entire crew is just ill.
Yeah, they're like, and there's a doctor on board that is just like, well,
maybe it's the curse of the statue. And then like one side is like, I thought you were a doctor. I think be more scientific. It's
like a doctor is scientific.
Like, despite the fact that the doctor actually explains that, I don't know what's going on. It's almost as though this actually were some sort of curse.
But this after the captain or something says that to him, the doctor just looks like he pulls out a bottle of whiskey and just takes a pull.
Yeah, that's what the doctor does.
Just like, also, I don't got time for this shit.
Also, it should be noted that while transporting the statue via the helicopters, the helicopter pilots do hear a weird noise.
Yeah.
Which is ostensibly coming from the
I'm guessing
the
it's
statue.
coming from, because of, like, I think they kind of explain.
They explain it later on in the movie, but for right now they're like, what's that noise? It's not coming from any of our equipment or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder what that is all about. And then they just leave it at that.
Exactly.
And of course, because all the ship crew are incapacitated,
yes,
that means that they got to hire a bunch of just locals to help move the
There's
statue.
A guy. He says, he pretty much said, "I'm not afraid to get sick. I've been sick my whole life."
So yeah, they inevitably wind up sick. But hey, the statue has been moved to the expo.
Yep. Just
not set up yet. Also, maybe they should have been clued in on the fact that maybe it'd be more than a statue if there's like a 90-foot spike coming from the bottom of it. Granted, my 90-foot estimate is probably completely off. I'm a terrible judge of distance.
Sounded
it's
good.
just like a huge spike going into the ground. And like, I wonder what that's all about. Well, let's just take it to Japan.
Yep. Then a couple scenes later,
Jiger emerges from the mountainside on the island and then goes after...
well, he fights Gamera.
He does fight Gamera. Gamera gets repelled.
Mm-hmm.
Jiger destroys a ship at sea, which... Gotta give credit to the sea captain for trying to avoid Jiger showing up, but at the speed,
runs right through it.
At the speed Jiger was going, there was no way they were gonna dodge. So Jiger just plows straight through them and breaks the ship in half.
Gamera has been impaled by spikes
that shot out of Jiger's spiky face.
Yes.
Jiger is basically a spiky-faced dinosaur.
Yep. Yeah.
It's got tusks on the side of its cheek, a horn. It's got like 2 long canine teeth.
And just random spikes,
spikes coming out of its cheeks. As I said. Which apparently have like... the ability to shoot arrows or whatever.
Yeah.
That's how he incapacitates Gamera. He shoots arrows through Gamera's arms and legs.
Yep.
Leaves the turtle on its back. Gamera does eventually pull the arrows out and manages to fly.
He just had to figure a way how to do it.
But in the meantime, Jiger shows up at the expo fair, and by this point, they realize that Jiger's been coming to wherever the statue is.
Yeah.
So he's clearly lured by the statue, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, for one, how would Jiger even know where the thing is? Unless he's, like, listening to the noise that it makes on the wind. But anyway, he gets to the expo fair, he picks up this... He uses, like, some sort of weird suction ability.
Yeah.
Like, he's got suction cups on his feet, but they act more like a vacuum.
Yeah.
In practice, to basically pick up the statue and toss it into the ocean. And then Gamera shows up and they fight again.
And then,
Jiger stabs him in the neck.
Yep, and
then Gamera's right leg and head turn into clear vinyl.
Yep. That'd be a cool toy.
That would be a cool toy. Seriously though, it looks like it was like those parts were made of clear vinyl that was unpainted. It's uncannily similar. Like, you could practically see his skull in his head.
So they take a helicopter and start taking, like, X-ray pictures of Gamera.
And, like, a doctor thinks he spots cancer in Gamera's lung. Turns out that's not so much the case. As it turns out that Gamera has been infected with basically a Jiger larva. And to demonstrate this fact, they use actual footage of an elephant whose trunk was infected with parasites being cut open, revealing the incredibly massive mass of wriggling parasites. And it is incredibly graphic. And why is this in a kid's movie?
I don't know, maybe they wanted to see a bunch of maggots and shit inside of a trunk.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was just... Yeah.
Like, this one scene in this movie, it's a small scene, but this one scene has really put me off from ever revisiting this movie again. And I doubt I'll ever be terribly inclined to watch it again without immediately leaving as soon as this particular scene starts.
Like, literally yesterday when we were watching it, the scene came and Protomet literally got up from his chair and walked into the next room.
I came back just so that I could see it.
Yeah. Not
because I wanted to, but just to remind myself of just why I don't want to.
Yeah. It's a disgusting scene.
It's completely unnecessary. You could just had some scientists say that that's what's going on and just leave it at that. But no! No, you have to show some incredibly graphic footage.
Yeah.
And that's...
a surgery on an elephant's trunk.
Ugh.
Okay, let's move on.
That's honestly the one moment in this movie that I remember the most, because how can you forget something like that?
That graphic.
But anyway, they figure out that they've got Gamera's got a Jiger larva in there. The Japanese and British boy decide to take the Japanese dad's mini sub, which he had just finished working on, and basically drive it into Gamera's gaping stab wound.
I think they go through the mouth.
I don't remember where they go. Yeah, I guess they go through the mouth. Whatever. I guess that's more plausible. But the end result is that they wind up inside of Gamera.
Yeah.
Which
there's the little Japanese boy says, "Well, we can breathe, but it just smells funny." Like the inside
of a giant fire-eating turtle. It's apparently not toxic to children. Apparently. All it is a little funny smell.
Yeah.
It's like...
Okay.
But anyway, they venture into the turtle, and with the help of a radio that they brought along with them, they basically get guided through Gamera's body to his lung where the larva is, and do next to nothing as the larva just kind of
chases them a little bit.
It emerges from its egg and starts chasing them to the lungs, and then
It, like, shoots some weird sticky stuff.
Yeah.
And then the, like, phone, the radio or phone gets stuck to it, and the radio signals are affecting it, and it pretty much kills it.
Yeah, so the kids just kind of arrive in Gamera, expecting to help, and just kind of fumble their way into killing the monster inside of Gamera.
Pretty much it, yeah.
But they use that as an opportunity to let the scientists know what's going on. Also, there's this one scientist in this movie who, despite everything that's going on, is incredibly dismissive of everything.
Yeah.
Like, one scientist speculates that the giant statue had, like, some poison on it that maybe incapacitated Jiger enough so that they could bury it all those eons ago. Mm-hmm. And the scientist is like, that's preposterous. It's like, he does not believe anything, despite the fact that you're dealing with a giant monster that was hidden underground because of a giant statue stabbed into its head, apparently.
Pretty much.
And this guy is dismissive of the whole radio interference messing with the Jiger larva, too, I think.
Yeah. There's, like, an older scientist that I believe was in a couple other Gamera movies.
Probably. He probably was in the first one, if I remember correctly.
He might have been a wee bit younger.
Only slightly, but he's still playing an old guy.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just...
It wasn't that long ago that the first movie came out.
No. He pretty much just, like, gives them a chance, you know. Let's see if this stuff actually works. If it worked on the baby, but would it work on the adult, you know?
Oh, right, the kids managed to get out of Gamera because...
Yeah, that too.
And then Gamera and Jiger have their rematch, and I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep. To the defense of the movie, it was largely because I was exhausted, but I do not remember what happened during the end of this movie. So, Tank?
So, Gamera and Jiger, you know, round 3, Gamera pretty much gets the upper hand, and he actually, like, breaks pretty much Jiger's tail spike with just a piece of a building, just kind of whacks it, and starts setting it on fire. Flies up in the air, drops him a few times. The humans are watching this stuff happen, and they tried to take all the power from, like, a town and just use the radio wave so it would weaken it in Jiger a little bit.
I recall that part of the movie.
And
I also recall there actually being an explanation behind the statue. Apparently the statue was constructed in such a way that it would always be producing a noise thanks to the wind.
Yeah.
And that noise was what was keeping Jiger dormant. Mm-hmm. So them pulling the statue out of the ground is what awoke Jiger. How Jiger could even think to go after the statue to dispose of it, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. So, Jiger is incapacitated due to Gamera pretty much setting him on fire for a while. And the little boys are yelling out different, like, moves, so it kind of reminded me of a Pokemon battle there for a little bit. Because, use your fire, Gamera! Like, duck, Gamera, dodge! Like, it's...
Dodge, use Swift! Use Flamethrower!
That makes more sense.
Gamera, use Fire Punch! Wait, no, sorry, wrong movie.
Blast Burn. Oh, and he pretty much, then Gamera kind of flies off, goes into the water, swims down, grabs the statue, and Jiger kind of gets back up and starts chasing it. But Jiger can't really fly, so Gamera is just flying up higher as he's trying to, like, jump and try to, like, grab it. And then Gamera kind of turns around, and just throws the statue, impales it into Jiger's head, and then he takes Jiger back to the island, and there was some human stuff, and that was the movie.
Also, I feel I should mention, I forgot to mention this before, but the island that they found the statue on is called Wester Island.
Wester.
Which clearly was a reference to Easter Island.
Ah, okay.
And this whole movie could have been avoided if that Wester Island representative had actually explained the situation instead of just getting upset and leaving the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's all on him for
Yeah.
not explaining anything.
If you take that statue, a kaiju will come out from under the ground and fuck shit up.
But no, just...
He had a hissy fit.
Whatever. Yeah, no, this is a movie that I generally do not care to revisit. And that's even accepting the fact that of that one particular scene.
It's not that great of a film.
I feel that this movie is a basic retread of Gamera versus Barugan.
Pretty much, but just a different...
Like, it has some interesting ideas, like the whole statue element, but in execution, it just kind of comes across as Gamera versus Barugan.
Yeah, but Barugan was better.
But with, like, a scorpion monster that doesn't look anything like a scorpion.
Yeah. This movie isn't... It's technically one of my worst Gamera movies.
Yeah.
Or least favorite, I should say.
One of them.
Yeah. Boy.
There are some worse ones. We will get to at least one of them at some point in the future, trust me. But
Super monster.
But that's getting a bit ahead of ourselves.
Yes. But I guess some of the fight scenes are okay, but it's just... And there is some, like, city destruction as, like, Jiger goes through the city, Okay, there's a scene that they're kind of worried that he's gonna come to the expo. He never really reaches it. He gets close.
I mean, he gets as far as the statue and then just tosses it in the ocean.
And then kind of turns around and
leaves.
Yeah.
That little girl, though.
Oh my God.
There were
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but there is a scene where the Japanese boy and the British boy are getting into the submarine, and she's like leering like death stares at him.
like there are a lot of moments in this movie where she's just kind of staring menacingly,
just like
for no reason.
Like, it's child actors. Okay,
like
they're not the greatest.
There are a couple of shots where X's actor is talking to the kids via the radio, and you could just not help but stare at the little girl just staring menacingly forward.
Just staring into the camera.
Practically, yeah. With like
just like an evil look. Just like... She's gonna put a curse on us, isn't she? She's like, I was on shouting gun or something.
But then when we actually get to the dub actress for this girl, it's kind of bad.
Yes. Like
I mentioned her having a very thick accent for seemingly no reason, because none of the rest of her family have that. If we meet her brother, we meet her dad, we meet her mom, none of them have nearly as thick of an accent, so...
Whatever.
It throws me off.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be fine with it if the other members of her family had similarly thick accents, but they just don't.
Big old British brogue or something,
Yeah. But they just don't, and it's...
They almost sound American compared to her.
Yeah, they have very slight accents, and then she's like...
She's like, Daddy! Don't shoot at Gamera, Daddy! Christ.
And they're very flippant. Like, at one point she says, I hate Gamera, because they were attacking the dig site. And then later she's like, I love Gamera, because she knows why Gamera's attacking the dig site now.
Yeah.
It's like... She is such an inconsequential character in this movie outside of basically just telling the adults what the kids are doing.
Yeah.
And then that's basically the bulk of her screen time. She
Kinda,
doesn't do anything else.
Kind of reminds me of the other little girl in like Gamera versus
Giron? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least she had a character arc. She was trying to convince all the adults that her brother and their friend were...
Are in a spaceship.
Not going to get into that whole spiel about that. We already did that when we talked about that movie.
Yeah.
Let's just move on.
Well, at least some of the adults were competent in this one.
Yeah.
Because a couple of the other ones, they're just like, nope, we don't believe you, silly kids.
But ultimately, the adults don't really do anything until the kids take initiative. Though, admittedly, the movie does address this because it has one character basically commending the kids for doing something while all the adults were doing nothing at the time. Mm-hmm. So...
Yeah, I believe it was the Japanese kid's dad.
Yeah.
He's like, next time I want to ride it. His daughter just smacks him in the arm. So
yeah, not.
I'm not a big fan of this movie. No,
like I said before, I tend to avoid this movie mostly for that one scene. But
after actually watching this movie again, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's bad. What was it? This one where it started to go downhill, or was it the...
No, I feel that Giron was the one where it really started to go downhill. Gamera versus Virus was kind of
Yeah, but
it's really Gamera versus Giron that just was a downward slope, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And Jiger is no exception. The next movie is...
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about that right now. We'll get to it probably
and then we
year.
get to the last of the show at Gamera movies, but that is a whole other topic.
Yeah. Yes.
That is a whole kettle of fish to deal with.
This, like I said, this movie's just bad, but I guess that's just our opinion. Some of you out there might like this movie. I'm not sure. You know, it's just not our cup of tea.
Yeah.
This tea is too hot.
No amount of blowing is making it go away.
Yeah, so,
yeah, I don't really have anything to say, so,
yeah, so this was, Gamera versus Jiger.
Until next time, I'm Protomet.
I'm Tank.
See ya.
Bye.